Welcome back to Run After Cast, the college football podcast. I'm Aaron, joined as usual by Ryan.
Hey guys.
And Chandler.
What's going on, gentlemen?
We're here today in a very quiet week of college football preseason, still waiting. I think even last week we were like, we don't even know what we're going to talk about yet. But this week we came up with the idea after some weeks of the Sorsby drama, everything going on. We wanted to bring some of the stuff we love of college football into the show. And the way we're going to do that is talk about our favorite college football traditions today. So we've each picked a couple. We're going to get into them after we take a quick break over at the Raction News Desk. So take it away, boys.
So Ryan and I got together for the quick Sorsby edit that you guys have seen on our short form content on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you see our clips. And we appreciate the support on those. Been going great, but we jumped on when Brennan Sorsby entered himself into the supplemental draft and decided to part ways with Texas Tech. So we wanted to kind of tie a bow on that on the podcast as well and get Aaron's opinion because he wasn't a part of Ryan and I's real quick jump on and record to kind of catch the train of the news. So Aaron, what's your opinion on it finally coming to an end?
It felt relieving. Like it felt like a collective breath across college football. Just like everybody was like, oh, good. Okay. I think it still is a crazy story. I think it was a crazy week. I think Texas Tech took so many unnecessary lumps, some unforced errors here. And the resolution to it being, I'll give them credit. They did kind of step up and do the thing they needed to do. Maybe not in the way they should have done it from the very beginning. I think we can have that critique and say, no matter the injunction, they could have immediately come out with that opinion. I get they had to play the money game side of it. But at the end, they did come out and say, you know, we're going to go in different directions. And I respect that. But it took them a little while to get there. And they had some crazy statements before that did offset it a little bit. But at the end, at least we don't have to worry about the foundations of college football burning down too heavily around us this season.
So as a Browns fan, I was like, this would be the place that he would go to in a supplemental draft. Like the Browns, that's going to be their guy. But shockingly, and I was very glad to see them make a smart decision. It was an informal announcement, but I think somebody in the inside of the Browns media team went out and said that their coaching staff is not interested in giving a pick in third, fourth, fifth round, whatever they decide on or would have decided on to get him. So I'm glad that he's not going to go to the Browns, hopefully. But where do you guys think he would get picked up to? I mean, I don't think the NFL deals with that kind of stuff even more than college football does. Like, I think they're a lot less lenient on it than college football is.
Someone who's a bad quarterback.
No, I think we are seeing that. Like this week, I did see a lot of speculative, like how far is he going? Is he a first pick or something or first round in there? I think I agree with you here. I think this was such a like bloody nose generator for college football. NFL does not like controversies if they can avoid them. They have plenty of them without any help. So I don't know if anybody's in such dire straits that they would take this risk, because the other part is we don't know how far separated. As we have said, I do hope Sorsby gets help. He obviously has an issue. I hope he gets that. I hope he gets better for it. I don't know if he's been through a program strong enough or he's worked with somebody close enough to be in that point where he could say, oh, I can go professionally in sports and not feel temptation to continue gambling. That's a completely personal journey for him that we are nowhere near having any insight into. But I could see if you were a legal team for an NFL to have that speculation on the erring on the side of caution. So
No, I take that back. I think the obvious answer would be Las Vegas, but they just drafted Fernando, so you can't go there. So I don't really know who's going to get him, but someone will pick him up. Someone got Pavia, so
I hate to say, but I think Brennan Sorsby comes with more baggage than Diego Pavia does.
It is crazy to say, but it is true.
I think the media is too hot and heavy on Brennan Sorsby in a negative manner. That like Pavia, yeah, he has his ebbs and flows in the media, and people have their differentiating opinions, but they're not all negative. Like it would be around Brennan Sorsby.
Pavia to me is just more, he's a quarterback with this online presence of a wide receiver. And
like a Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, it's just something where it's like he's boisterous, he talks trash, Is it professional? No. Is it something where it's going to get him into trouble in the news? Sure. But is it going to be something that like the league has to step in on? Probably not, unless he goes off some weird deep ends. But gambling, that's an immediate like, that could be an issue. And how much do they know, and how much are they willing to watch to make sure they don't know anything? That comes back to, I can speak for all of us here, as well as the rest of college football, that I'm happy the story is behind us. Like, it was a wild adventure. We went plenty ups and downs with it. I do feel like we have gotten some relief and closure on the story moving forward. Now it's the NFL's problem, no matter how that works out. So we can continue on looking forward to our next football season. And to get into that, let's start off with favorite college football traditions. So what are you boys looking forward to seeing this season?
So I would be remiss if I was not, to flaunt Ohio State's traditions out the gate.
Can we just all collectively agree that without knowing each other's favorites, that we all picked our school's tradition for the very first one? Because I know you guys did, and I know I did. So
of course. So I have two actually on my list from Ohio State. So I apologize in advance if you guys want to skip through those, viewers. Just
yeah, don't worry.
Find my third one. So my first one is actually displayed behind me. Let me see if I can. The Ohio scripts for the band, they come out. The best damn band in the land comes out to the Script Ohio, and a senior sousaphone player comes out and dots the I. So it's just a very formal situation in the beginning of the game. It's right before the game starts. The last band performance, they come out, they dot the I. It's just a dramatic dotting of the I. When he comes out and runs, leans back super high, does the high leg kicks, comes down, dots that thing, crowd erupts. Great to see in person. So I've always loved that tradition. It dates back to like the 1930s, and it's stuck around ever since. They do it every home game or away game. That's always their staple piece of the band. So I've always loved to see that.
I love dotting the I, and that's one bendy fellow there.
It
bending
is.
back like that, touching his head on the ground.
My dad and I, for the semifinal game in Atlanta when they played Georgia for the midnight, missed kick for Ohio State when Georgia went on to play TCU and beat them by 100,000 points. We got to meet the guy that was dotting the I at that game. They were doing like the crowd walk into Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and he like came over before it was their turn to walk in. It was like, I'm dotting the I. And my dad just happened, and we're standing right there, and we're like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. So we took a picture of them, and that was pretty cool.
It's a fun tradition. That is something I actually have later in my list, not specifically for Ohio State, but I do have some band stuff, because I do think as we get into that, that's a great part of college ball. Like,
absolutely,
bands, everything like that. So I think it's a great pick. I think you guys do it. I think it's fun. It's definitely something. It's a pregame hype, crowd, getting everybody on the same page. I think it works.
It's also crazy coming from how small compared to most high schools, like in the higher divisions. Ours was seeing the band there versus like a band at that high of a D1 program. How vastly different they are from the energy and atmosphere from a high school to a college scene. So it is cool that they can make that much of a jump up and be that impactful in a game. So what you got, Ryan? What's your number one?
I have another little pregame one here. So I made my list like top 5, So this is my 5th one, but I had to put Auburn on there. Chandler's gonna hate this. But
wait, this is your 5th, like bottom of the list?
This is the bottom of my list, but I had to put an Auburn one on there.
Auburn better be on number 1 too.
Okay, but this is the Auburn Mike Man and his chants. So
I see why you started with it now. Yeah,
I agree with the position.
Yeah,
Chandler hate this. The Mike Man, every single game, the cheerleaders, the Mike Man run the field, and the Mike Man will come out there and he'll sing chants. He sings Bada Getta, classic, and he sings Track 'em. And they didn't do Track 'em at the Iron Bowl last year. And some lady behind me, I even heard her, she kept saying, "Are we gonna track 'em? Or are we not gonna track 'em?" And everyone knows Bada Getta. And then track 'em Tigers, just like Beagles. So Chandler has a Beagle, so we always say that one. It's his favorite. So I had to put that on here for my 5th. And it's like kind of cringy, but it's like a wonderful tradition.
Are you ready?
Ready.
I do feel like that is a tradition only an Auburn fan loves. It is one that like doesn't. It's not one that other schools respect. It's not one that we go in and are like, I'm really excited for them when they do this. It's just like it's your guys' weird little thing.
Yeah, so
I will
I'd
say
throw-
though that home game stadiums like it's electric atmosphere when that guy comes out.
Oh,
and does
yeah,
all
like-
that stuff. Like the whole from the
You
top
guys
deck down.
love it.
They're
Yeah.
they're loud.
We
So it
all
is
know
cool.
it. We're all doing it. You know?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Great. And it kind of like, it's a weird one, but I had to throw it on here. It's a great tradition to me. I know there's a lot of traditions in football, but it's one of my favorites. So I put it on.
Yeah. And I do love those though. I think that is part of college football is when you have those really specific that like when you explain it to somebody that's not a college football fan, you have to really be careful and like walk them on so you don't sound weird or like part of a cult. I have some cult like ones later that we'll talk about. But yeah. Oh yeah. So, but that rounds me up to my first pick for favorite college tradition for my school. I'm going to say, if we're talking about impacts of traditions, this is the biggest one. And that is the cowbell for Mississippi State. I think no school has anything quite like it. I think if you're not a Mississippi State fan, it's probably annoying. It doesn't make any sense. I think as a Mississippi State fan, I could say, is it fair? Probably not. Is it something that as a aggressive home stadium advantage that you get? Yeah, you can just have a team hard of hearing at Mississippi State at home every year because it's loud. It's great. But from my first game in the stadium, I fell in love with it. It's like as soon as they put a cowbell in your hand, you were shaking it the whole time. You're like, this is the greatest thing. I'm participating with my cowbell. So y'all have to yell. And we don't. We just get to sit there and be very, very noisy without having to do
I
that.
love how obnoxious it is. Like in
It
a
is.
good way. It's so amazing. Like, I don't know.
But it
Fun
also,
fact.
it's funny to me when you're there because if we're happy, the cowbells are going. If we're upset, the cowbells are going. So there's not like the pulse of the crowd where it's like, oh, you can lose the energy because we're just going to rattle them. It's like a crowd full of children that have this in their hand.
So fun fact about Mississippi State fans, they are the leading college football fan base of youngest fans with hearing loss and tinnitus in their ears because of the cowbell. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really loud. It is something where you're like, it's not that
You hear it
bad,
the night
but
when you go back to the hotel. You're just like, golly, it's still ringing.
I was telling y'all before recording that I was like, oh, I needed to go grab my cowbell so I could have it here as a physical prop. I can't bring it in the recording room because it can't be anywhere near my microphone. It will wake up my entire house if I just move it slightly. It's so loud by itself. You throw in thousands of them, you can't hear anything else. There's no conversations happening. You have to like leave the stadium.
See, I love that though.
I do.
So good.
It is something that it creates a unique environment in football. When you are doing stadiums, even the best teams, I think, can go to Mississippi State and be thrown off. I think you can have a young quarterback who snap counts go wrong, lines start behaving weird. It is an oppressive amount of noise.
So my number 2, I apologize again. This is the last Ohio State one I have. Every other one is not Ohio State. But this one, if it wasn't for like how traditional the script Ohio performance was, I would have this one number 1. And I do think it's a situational kind of tradition. So this one is for the rivalry game every year. And when they play Michigan on November 30th, all of the campus in Columbus, in the stadium, in the facilities, they all cross off the M's on every single thing that has an M on it in red duct tape. So if you go around the city of Columbus, you go like eat pizza at some restaurant, the M's going to be off, right? If you go walking around the campus, all the M's on all the street signs, all the campus signs, all the building signs, they're all crossed off with an M. So I think that's a cool tradition that just kind of roots the hatred of the Michigan game versus the Ohio State. I think that kind of it brings the fans together on the hatred of that game. And it's not just something that the team does, it's something the fans can get involved with around wherever they are in Columbus. So it's cool to see just walking around Columbus during that time of year and they just start doing it and like all the students are involved, they go out and do it. So it's a good time. So that's
I
my
love it.
second favorite. Yeah.
I love it,
It's
and that's
cool.
one of those things you think about, like those kids from college, and you're like, oh, let's all go out at night and like cross all the M's, you know? Maybe
Yeah,
something
even
else.
on
I
social
love
media
the,
and stuff, it's all crossed off. Yeah, it's cool.
yeah, and I love the hatred part. I wish we could do that to Alabama. We just have too many A's and Auburn and stuff. We couldn't do. It's a big syllable, you know?
I do like it because there's part of it that feels still like a prank, that it is really
Yeah,
kind
like
of
a senior prank in high
inconveniencing
school.
y'all,
Mhm.
but it is still like, it's fun that y'all get behind it. It has that student section vibe to it that everybody's behind.
Of
I
course.
feel bad for anybody named like Mike Masters or something up there that like has to fix his office door every year. That seems like inconvenient, but for everybody else, I bet that's a blast.
Well, it was cool too because last game, like with the snow, when they went to Ann Arbor and beat them, Brutus went out like after one of the quarters and he like crossed off the M in the Michigan end zone, and like he dragged his foot through the snow, and it was and he drew like the script Ohio underneath it. And it was pretty cool. So
Yeah, it's great.
it's cool that not just the team gets involved, but everybody that gets involved in Columbus with it.
And
I love that.
that's some of the things that like I think is somebody like, especially some SEC focused like I was when I kind of first got into college football. You know, you kind of start looking at the rivalries in the SEC and you're like, oh, these are intense. And then one day you discover Ohio State and Michigan. You're like, we like buy each other beers. Like, you guys won't do that. It is a crazy intense rivalry. Like, that is something that there's dislike for your rivals, and then there's whatever y'all got cooking up there.
Yeah, they have a 365 countdown timer. It says like the game in their locker room, and then it has down to the second like when they play their next game. Then they'll have like their scout team will go on, put the Michigan stuff on, and yeah, it's good. It's fun.
Do they have the M crust off on the game? Or just the
They
week
do
of?
during the week.
Okay.
It's good stuff. I like it, and they have like all the video animations on it. Everything. It's pretty cool.
See, I wouldn't want to put the Team Up North stuff on if I'm the scout team there.
Especially because you're not about to get hit. It's like the 4-string quarterback just getting leveled. So he's always sick that week. It's like,
Yeah.
no, I'm not coming out.
Yeah. Number 14's live.
So what you got in your 2 slot, Ryan? Or your 4 slot if you're going
All right.
backwards.
Yes, this is my 4. I had to put another one Auburn here. I'm really sorry. This one's just so good. The
It's
Tiger
5
Walk.
Auburns.
Tiger Walk. So everyone is like the team walk, you know, back into their stadium. But Auburn is actually the first team to ever have a team walk. This is the most copied tradition in college football. In 1960, there was some kids outside Sewell Hall that were trying to get like high fives and autographs and stuff from the team when they were leaving. And now like thousands of fans will line up on Donahue Drive on the way into the stadium. And all the people will line up on the sides. They'll have the band and the cheerleaders come through. There's a guy on a ladder. It comes up and you play a couple songs. Everyone out there chanting and singing the song. And then the team walks through and everyone's all happy and stuff. And we've had like the biggest one was in 1989 before the first home Iron Bowl, because we had the whole thing where they couldn't play each other at home to home. And we beat number 2 Alabama 30-20. Of course, they were undefeated, upset. You know, happened a few times, but there was 20,000 people just on that street. It's like a huge deal. Everyone goes
That's
and sees
crazy.
Tiger Walk 2 hours before the game. And all the other schools thought it was so great, they copied it, and they all have a team walk.
We'll say I didn't know that wasn't like an Auburn original. Like, it is a cool tradition. It is a cool moment. Like, I have been hyped up doing that. And you know, you are just catching a glimpse of the band, the team, but there's this celebration behind it, no matter what school you're at and you're taking part in it. So that's cool. I wouldn't have guessed that Auburn was the OG walk-in.
Yeah, it's crazy because everyone has like a team walk. It's hard to think
Yeah.
that like one once had to start it. And you know, it hypes all the players up. It gets them in a good mood. Charles Barkley might touch you on accident.
And then I have the luxury and benefit of being able to go to a lot of Auburn games because, you know, I married into a diehard Auburn family. So we just hop in the car, get up there, and that's always what we do is like 2 hours before we'll go to Tiger Walk. And it actually is like, it's the hype around that street is going toe to toe with what it is in the stadium. It's loud, it's aggressive, like everybody's into it. I mean, it's a lot of fun.
I have never been. So I've
We'll have to
actually
do it. Yeah.
never been to the Auburn Stadium. So that'll be one day that we will have. I'm excited to go. But even like the team walk as a whole, when one of the Mississippi State games that I went to, it was one that Mississippi State, it's very close. It's normally not as crazy, but that was it was Mike Leach's final season that I got to go in and see Mike Leach and do the walk and everything. And that's a memory now that I'm like, oh, that's cool. So like I said, that is such a cool tradition at the college level where it's a little more accessible, where I think like you think of the pros and things like that, and then how locked off everything is. Where I don't know if Auburn's the same way, but the ones that I've been to at other stadiums, it's really like the fans. There's an order to it. There's a couple people that'd be like, hey, don't walk in the middle, but we kind of we hold it, and everybody's just excited to be there.
Yeah. We have like metal things down the whole street that they walk up, and they come up and all the way down, the band will come play and stuff. It's really good. Really good.
What's your 2 spot, Aaron? Another Mississippi State. We're just going to all of our schools.
No, but this one is because I was thinking of like what traditions, college football, what's important to me about college football. And this is a non-team specific. It actually goes with your dotting the I in Ohio. I picked just overall halftime band performances. I think that's something that when we think of other sports, we have people come out and perform, but specifically a marching band perform when you're in stadium is awesome. Like, it's just no matter which team you're seeing, what's going on, it is something that the home viewer, we don't necessarily get if we're just watching it on TV. When you're in the stadium, you're hearing it, it's loud, the fans are there, everybody's excited. I just think that's part of it. Like, it is bringing everybody together. No matter what team you root for, what you got, you have a band that is your cheer section.
Yeah, I kind of love
this question, Aaron.
Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
How do you get your hot dogs and tasty beverages while the band's playing at halftime? That's your only time to go.
See, that's where you got to be old like me. And you don't go get your beverages and hot dogs at halftime because everybody does. You wait and you get them towards that like first quarter, second quarter little downtime. So
there you go.
No. Another reason I have to put this up here is my wife was in the Mississippi State band. So
that's awesome.
But she was telling me about like all the experiences she got for the band. She got to go to college through that opportunity for being in the band. So it is something that like outside of just what football's bringing, it's some of the good. We talked about how NIL and all these things that we worry about. There's part of college football that's giving kids opportunities outside of being able just to play. It's just you get to be here, you're playing, you're part of the team, you're part of the environment. And I think that's great. And now I will say, as a whole, I think we need to dress our college bands a little better. I think we can leave some of the Nutcracker aesthetics alone for a while. We had them for a while. We can go back and we can let them dress with dignity. But I do love to see it. I think every time they come out, and especially if you're a long-term fan and you love your band, and hearing when you get there the next season, the different, different track lists and everything they're playing for halftime, I think it's cool.
They do look like Nutcrackers. That's hilarious.
Shout out Jen for making the episode.
Shout out your favorite Nutcracker. All right. But I love the bands though. Like, where else in the world are you gonna go watch a marching band? When they're in the stands, super obnoxious, super loud and everything, and they go play their good stuff during halftime. They make it sound nice for you, and everyone has their team song that they play. And it's so great. You're on the college football game, and it's playing all the team sounds in your head, and you're like, that's pretty good,
On the same music vein, but not from the band. My 3 slot is over in the ACC. We got the Virginia Tech, the Enter Sandman.
Yeah,
I think that is the most electric entrance that you could have in a stadium. I mean, the fact that the whole stadium's rocking, they're jumping to it, there's smoke going. I mean, they reportedly, I haven't ever actually experienced it, but supposedly the stadium actually shakes because of everybody like jumping around at the same time. So, I mean, that would just be, as a player in that tunnel, like seeing all that energy surrounding you, that song from Metallica, Enter Sandman, is just rocking in there. Like, that would get you fired up. Like, I mean, you're ready to go run through a wall for that game. So I think that is an awesome tradition. It's fun to watch. They play it like on TV if you're watching theirs too. So I mean, it's cool to kind of live through the TV, but I wish we could go see it in person, because that's always been a cool entrance for me.
Yeah, I think that is one that, like, if we're talking about absolute stadium capture, especially because like a lot of stadiums have their song, and I think a lot of people would argue that theirs is the one. I think you have to fight. Like, you might place yourself in the top seed for the playoff of best song. Virginia Tech's going to be your opponent every time. I think you're right. I think it is something. It was in my list for just how much a crowd gets hyped for Enter Sandman. I think that is just one that, like, whether it's a good year, bad year, whatever's going on with Virginia Tech, it does not matter because that crowd is there for it. And, you know, if you're thinking, if you've got something you can do for your team, participating like they do, you know, how could you not be hyped up to get out there and play?
Theme here. I love all the things that give you a bunch of energy and hype. And that one's just so good. It gets you running through a wall before the game, you know?
Oh yeah,
I
you're
love
ready
it.
to rock and roll.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine being a
literally-
collegiate athlete, like in your first start, like this is like your time to shine. It's a home game. The stadium's fully maxed out. I mean, that. Woo.
I will
Yeah,
say
ready to
it's
rock and
one
roll.
of my hype points because it's such a good tradition that this season that I'm gonna watch James Franklin's first game where
Oh,
they
yeah.
get to do that, because that's going to be one of those moments where you're like, how's he going to fit in this program? And that game, after seeing him when that all starts, his reaction, how pumped up he gets for it, is going to tell us a lot of what we need to know about Virginia Tech's future, I think, in college football.
What you got, Mr. Ryan?
Really sorry. I did one more Auburn one here. This
I
one's
hope,
also
at
Auburn.
this point, I hope they're all 5 Auburn, because
This one's also Auburn just because it's such a great tradition. I put my number 3, Rolling Toomer's Corner. I put Rolling Toomer's Corner as my number 3.
at
So,
number 3.
Toomer's, for the people that don't know, Toomer's Corner is the center of town where all the roads interconnect. And right there on the corner, there's the Toomer's Drug Store, which is everyone goes in there, gets lemonade, and it's the middle of town. All the restaurants and everything are up there. It's right next to the school. So everyone goes up there. And in the 1890s, they used telegraphs, and they had a thing called ticker tape, which was like they would type stuff on the telegraph to let people know that they won an away game. And the only telegraph in town was in Toomer's Drug Store. So they go out and throw it up on the trees, like the power line, to let people know they won when they threw it up there. But in the mid 1900s, it like was like less common. So they switched to toilet paper. And then we like beat Alabama in 1972, and it just kind of peaked there. So then now after every win, we just go and throw a bunch of toilet paper up there. But the guy tried to poison the trees in like 2010 after we beat Alabama with Cam Newton. So he tried to kind of take that away from us. But it's like so great. It looks like a blizzard. It's like everything's white. It looks so good at night with the light shining up on the trees and stuff. And it's just so nostalgic for me. I could just picture like the smell of like all the trees and toilet paper. It smells so good. It like sounds crazy. But like it's such like a nostalgic like thing for me that like I can just put myself there. It's so nice.
So how does who cleans all that toilet paper out? Like, do they just like spray down
I
the
think
trees?
they hose
like,
it down.
Yeah,
Yeah, they hose
like
it down.
that. That would be an awful job. Like, talking about the M's, that would be that's up there too.
Yeah, but Aaron, you need to see it. It's like crazy. The entire town is covered in white. Like it's nuts.
I bet that is a sight. And I mean, we're all here from the South, you know, we're from south of there. We know you don't get a lot of snow. We've seen it like once in a decade. So seeing it kind of close to a snowstorm up there, I don't at any point in my life want a joyous memory of smell to be toilet paper for me. So I'm gonna
I
like
know that sounds
just
crazy.
yeah.
Like the wet like oak trees and like toilet paper, so it smells so good.
That's not helping.
sounds
It's
crazy.
not helping.
Yeah,
Dude.
just some wet paper, some wet downy.
You've got to be there. It is such a nostalgic thing. Like I don't know how to put my finger on it. It's like sounds crazy.
No, I could see it being very cool. Like I think the event is cool. The idea of saying the smell
The smell is
makes
what
me
really brings it
happy.
back.
That is the insane part here. That I think it is very college football that it allows you to say such an insane statement and mean it so wholeheartedly. So I respect it.
But also when
I'm not
But also
buying
when
a
you're-
toilet
sorry.
paper handle anytime soon.
yeah, but also when you're like a little kid, you're out there like rummaging on the ground trying to find one that fell off a tree. You gotta throw it good, and I would have just like try to see how far I could throw. I just chuck it up in the air. You know, it's so fun too as a little kid. It's
He goes around on the ground and then grabs the roll, smells the roll as he's throwing
Yeah.
it, and really gets the full scent of the lifted toilet paper.
You gotta throw it. There's a thing called a clean fuego that we'd throw at baseball. There's essentially a baseball with the sides cut off. It has to spin smooth, and you have to get good spin efficiency on the toilet paper for it to actually go and have it like roll behind it.
If it's too wet though, it's not unrolling.
That's not wet. It on the ground is wet, and it creates like a wonderful aroma.
I'm gonna have to smell this one day.
Dude, it's great. Like, it sounds
Because
so crazy.
right now, and I think like many rack listeners here are going to be in my camp of like, I've smelled porta potties before, and that's my idea of wet toilet paper. So that's
No,
a
that's just-
nightmare.
No.
That's a
But,
wonderful
okay,
aroma.
Yeah.
You're like a little kid. You beat number 1 Alabama, and then you go walk down there, and you just smell that toilet paper, and you're throwing it and stuff. It's like, dude,
I'm
it's
so
nothing
excited
like-
for
There's
the
thousands
future
of people there.
Mhm.
You'll
of
know what I'm
Auburn
talking about.
fans of being like, there was nothing better as a child than when that War Eagle mobile chime would come in to let us know that we won an away game.
Yeah, it's like instead of little ticker tape, we have the War Eagle
Your toilet
mobile
paper.
guy.
So I've been there multiple times and done such rolling, and I couldn't tell you what it smells like. So
Dude,
maybe my
It's
nose,
nostalgic.
maybe
I love
like,
it.
I
maybe
could
like
put
the
myself
allergies
there.
and Claritin wasn't kicking in. I don't know, but I can put myself
literally
there
can't
too.
walk. It's like hanging out on the trees, and you're like going like this through it.
I can't wait to experience this. I'm definitely going to throw toilet paper. Like I will not
Mhm.
bat this down. I just think y'all are crazy. Auburn has a special breed of crazy for their traditions. So
It's good. It is a cool atmosphere to see. I mean, the
yeah,
band comes, Obby comes and stands on the little corner, like the brick like area, and they like are all chanting and getting hype. Like
Yeah.
it's good stuff.
He rides the back of a golf cart down the thing, and everyone's like, Obby. And then yeah, there's like the big sign, but like the big sign that like all the picture of like a picture of like this is Auburn University, the trees like Stanford Hall in the background of the sign. He like climbs up on top of it, and all the guys are up there like singing, chanting and stuff
That's
with
good. That's
the
cool.
toilet paper in the background. Yeah, it's a great tradition. I had to put it on.
So my number 3 is the most cult-like behavior that we have in college football, next to maybe the smell of toilet paper at this point. Might have dethroned it for me, but I'm going the midnight yell for Texas A&M.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
for everyone else, at its core, it's goofy. It's weird. It's the yell leaders coming in and doing all this. It's bizarre, and like I said, it feels cult-like. But the fact they do it at midnight, even on away games, is something that I like. If you're part of that fandom, that is cool. Like, it's cool to be that into it. It's like, we're going out at midnight. We're going to stay up the night before a game. Probably a lot of them have driven in for away games. I haven't been to one at Kyle Field, so I'm sure that's another level of insane. But I just think it's a little like, we're that into this. We are that supportive of the team that we're going to show up for it, that I respect it. I think it is something that you're getting out there doing. And I think I respect it more as a man in my late 30s to know what a commitment it is to get up and do something after midnight. So I appreciate it.
I mean, I think all these traditions are really, as we're talking about them, it just reassures me that college football is like second to none in sports in the world.
Yeah, like
it's
being
so great.
insane. Yeah.
It's incredible that, like, I mean, you talk to a Texas A&M fan, and everything else that any other program does is insane, and theirs is normal. So it's fantastic.
I will say that Texas A&M fans, I don't think they think it's normal. There is no second guessing. It's like our Christmas decorations have to be Texas A&M. Every part of our life is influenced by Texas A&M. And I guess if you're going to love something with your whole heart, love it with your whole heart, and they do. So I do appreciate that for them.
Aaron, I'm so glad you put this on your list. I was really counting you to, but I think it's so great because it's like a little bit of like, you have like, I get to go do something, like I'm having the game 2 days in a row. I get to go have some fun. I get to go to the game the next day. But it's also like a lot of the stadiums, like you're not just playing the team, you're playing me. You're playing the fans. And Auburn tries to like say that a lot because like they've said we've had like a tough stadium. But like a lot of times, I think they say it during the game. Like, I don't think anyone's actually gonna get loud because that guy on the jumbotron just said, "You're playing us too." But the Texas A&M, you're practicing for the next day to throw them off and have like a terrible time in your stadium. I love that.
You're getting warm-up reps at midnight before the game as
Yeah, I
your
love it.
fan time.
I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. I wish we did that.
Yeah. And I think it's really squeezing the experience out for you.
Mhm.
Like, you are going to get the full thing. Because then you know you're going to get up that next day. You're going tailgating. That's going to be incredible. That's going to be a fun time. And it's like that night before, you're getting with your crew, and the A&M fans are all getting together. You can make plans, you can hang out, you can talk, you can share stories. I think that's fun. I think that's an extra little level of like, this is a community, not necessarily just a fandom. And I think if we're talking traditions, that one to me just, it speaks of like, we're real. We care about our team.
Yeah, you want to be a part of this game for as many days in a row as you can.
Yep.
The tailgating thing, that's a great thing. Like, when I was a kid, we would like ride cardboard boxes down hills and stuff, and throw football. Tailgating too is great. That whole thing, you're doing that for like 24 hours straight, midnight tailgating, going to the game. If y'all have like a little after game thing and you win, it's great.
Yeah, tailgating was one that I thought about. I was like, that is a tradition, but I also didn't feel like it's not quite college football enough. But it
Yeah.
is part of the experience. So it is an honorable mention for me of
Mhm.
like the tailgating of a team as an away team, as somebody traveling to them. I think is something that it's like, that's an art to it. When you have like, if you're going to LSU for tailgating, incredible host, like
Buckle up.
they love that. So it's like, now wear neutral colors. This is a warning. You either show up as an away. Don't tailgate in your team. You tailgate for LSU. But I just think it's like, it's an incredible experience. Like it's a whole day that you are going to have fun doing. Sorry, noon kickoffs, but
We were having
you
this
get that-
conversation at the gym today. Said, that's a horrible tradition because I don't know, when I wake up in the morning, am I eating breakfast with my kickoff or am I eating lunch with my kickoff? I don't know what meal to even decide on. It's not like, oh, it's dinner time, let's get the burgers going, the brats going, let's get the, I don't even know what meal to have when our kickoff
Yeah.
happens. So, let's get rid of Fox and Big Noon and all
I'll
that
tell you-
mumbo jumbo.
Big noon
I'll
kickoff.
tell you
I
what-
can't even imagine when you're there that like you are like, is your tailgating like coffee and donuts?
Yeah, like eggs.
it's
and
rough.
Bacon and eggs. And
Yeah, you got to be in your
bagels.
seat like before lunch is even on the menu.
Yeah, I mean, the Texas and Ohio State game last year was at 12, and this year it's at 6:30 because it's not on Fox. I mean, come
Because-
on, man.
Like, how many games? Like, like I said, I haven't been to Auburn, but I'm sure Auburn's the same way. If you get that like 7:00 kick, you are still there at like 9-10 in the morning. And that whole day, you're just wandering. You're just from one conversation about football to the next little thing going on. There's an event. You can go catch something. You're waiting for the team to get there. It's incredible.
Well, the other big thing about tailgating is like if you have a late kick and you're going around to all these different groups and meeting people and talking to people and just sharing the passion of you have with the sport with somebody else, it's fun to have the environment of watching a game on this big TV that they have there as well and not watching game day. Like,
Yeah.
I understand game day is great, but the energy around watching another ranked game or another great game on TV while you're getting ready for your game is a lot better than watching game day happen. at, like,
I will
1
say
o'clock
I
in the morning.
completely agree that the best version of it is if you have a late kickoff and your rivals have an earlier kickoff.
Yep.
And you get to watch your rivals game with all the rest of the fans at the stadium, with drinks, food. There is just nothing that like you've got the audience of how many people are around, hundreds of people just in your little area watching the game with you, screaming, yelling, cheering every time your rivals do something dumb. It is incredible. Like it just makes a day so much fun.
Of
Yeah, like
course.
last year, me and Chandler at Ball State, Auburn, and we were watching Byron Brown beat Florida on the Jumbotron. Like, I can't believe this. And little did we know he's going to be our quarterback this year. And yeah, like when I was talking to Chandler at the gym, I was joking as if night games could be a tradition because y'all don't get any. That I was like, do I have permission to say that Big Noon is like a tradition? But like, yeah,
Fantastic.
it's like you're saying, like the all day thing. There's like so much stuff to do. Like we go to a 6:30 Auburn game, and me and Chandler are like, oh, we want to go to the gym. We have to go at 7 in the morning. We'd get out and go at 7 in the morning before everyone gets up because they want to go in at 9:30, walk around, go to all the bookstores, go to Guthrie's, and then we walk the Tiger Walk at 4:30 and then go in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, we're flowing this great for my list. I really appreciate all this planning for me. So speaking of just electric fans and the fan base being, incredible for the stadium, I would argue, and it pains me to say, that Penn State's whiteout is second to none in a night game atmosphere in any stadium. Having
I
100,000
agree.
plus fans in that stadium, all wearing white, especially if it's a ranked game, just rocking. I mean, they're loud the whole time. Like, zoom view of the stadium looks insane because it's all white. I mean, the letters in the end zones are white. Like, it's incredible. The atmosphere is nuts, and the aesthetic is great, loud, fantastic.
Yeah, and I don't know how they do it so good, but yeah, it looks different when they do it. And they
looks
are
great.
so electric, especially the beginning of it. And there's just one clip, I think it's because the team up north that I always see come around. And they're walking on the field for the first drive, and everyone's singing Mo Bamba and screaming, and they can't even get the playoff. And it's like, that is like so great. You're playing the crowd. It looks so cool. You know?
And it makes it better that it's not like a Mercedes-Benz stadium that has like 65 or 70,000 people. Like, it has 105,000 people in that stadium. So that's
Yeah.
a lot of people all wearing white.
It's very impressive. It is something that, like, when you first hear about it, like, if you were told this is a tradition, you'd be like, what's the deal? What's it matter? Like, they're wearing white. What are they surrendering? Like, you wouldn't feel it. And then you see it. And the coordination, I think that's the thing that's just so telling of the fandom, how much this means to them, this particular game. Because nobody quite pulls this off like they do. Like, everybody else that has tried something like this or organized something like this, they do a pretty good job. There's an impact from it. Nothing like it. Penn State's is flawless. I mean, you see it and you're like, this looks like somebody set this up for a movie shot where all...
All right, Ryan, what's your 4 or your 2?
All right, this is my second favorite. Sorry. So sorry.
One more after this or one more including this?
One more
No,
here, one more here.
These
one
are
more here.
all 5 Auburn.
At least one more here.
Yeah.
So for Auburn, I did the eagle flying and our war eagle. It kind of goes hand in hand. So every game, we have an eagle that flies around, circles the stadium, and we all go, whoa. And then when it flies down to the center, we go, eagle, hey. And it's like the whole stadium's like roaring. It's awesome. But I was going to give a little history lesson, y'all, because everyone's like, why is that the Tigers and the War Eagles? What are you talking about? So the only reason we have this eagle too, so there was a soldier that came from Alabama that in the Civil War, during the Battle of the Wilderness, he found a wounded eagle like on the battlefield. So he took it in and he cared for it and he nursed it back to health. And a few years later, he was previously an Auburn student, but he came back to Auburn as like a faculty member. So he'd always bring it around and people would always see him with the eagle on campus and he'd bring it to all the events. So of course, he's going to bring it to the first Auburn game. So the first Auburn game was against Georgia, because we have the oldest rival in the South, again in 1892, and he brought the eagle with him. But during the eagle broke free from the soldier and started circling around the stadium. But Auburn happened to start driving down the field and score. So the fans got all excited and they started screaming, War Eagle, War Eagle, during the thing. And then we won. And the eagle dove into the center of the field and died. So we always say War Eagle.
What an electric
I
statement
love
that
this
was.
list because this is a me and Chandler college tradition of like, hey, here's some cool football stuff. This is like shattering my mind for how Auburn fans exist.
Yeah, it
Like,
sounds fake.
I wasn't ready for this roller coaster.
It sounds fake. And now
And
we use it like
died.
in like the Auburn fan base is so great. It's like we use like it's like, oh hey, War Eagle, you're wearing orange and blue, War Eagle, And in our kickoffs, it's another thing. We kind of do the same thing. Everyone goes war, and then right at the kicks the ball, Eagle, hey, and then like the
So-
hey is like so piercing through the stadium, like it's awesome.
So let me follow this up with as a non-Auburn initiated person. So from the very beginning, the War Eagle's been a thing in the football
The first
program.
game, the first
And
game.
you guys kept the Tiger part, the part that isn't that
Yes.
important and doesn't have a really cool story of death on the field. You were like, we're going to keep both. I thought this was like a recent thing that it was like, okay, historically we're the Tigers, but in the 60s, there was this part of it that like it became, but it was just from the beginning. Like y'all could have changed at that point.
You could have been the Auburn Eagles.
Yeah, which is original. Not the third Tiger of one conference. Why haven't y'all done that? What is keeping the Tiger part
I
around?
don't know. We've even changed the name of our school. We were like the Auburn's men's school of like something, and then we changed the API, and then we turned to Auburn. So we changed our name like 3 times. We were always the Tigers. And we always had this eagle. But it's like, I'm sorry I keep picking Auburn ones, but it's like we just have such like great
should.
rooted
Hey.
traditions that are so old. And I'm not even trying to just pick Auburn. They're just like in my head. I'm like, these are so great. And they seem so crazy. Like, this seems so crazy. This guy just had an eagle that was flying around, you win. And they're like, oh, this is like some like superstitious thing that we eagle around our stadium every single game now so that we can win. Because we beat
Which is-
Georgia 150 years
It's cool.
ago.
Like, that's a cool tradition. I do think the War Eagle, as like, if we were putting traditions up there, I think it is a top one. I like when teams have a mascot that like a live mascot that they participate. I think like FSU with riding in. I think the Sooners, when you got that going through, that stuff's always cool to me. There's just something hype that you'll see the fandom do it. I think War Eagle is up there for those. But I do want to start a petition. I think we need to get the Auburn fans together with the directors and say, like, we can make this change. I think we can all switch over. We can say you guys are the Auburn War Eagles. That is the coolest merch in college football.
You don't like
could
Aubie?
have the cool. I mean, if you had
He always
your
wins
choice,
like
as
they
an
have,
Auburn
like,
fan, if you had the choice between the War Eagle mascot and the Tiger mascot, who are you picking?
I don't know. Well, at this point, Aubie's so big. Like, he wins like the mascot national championship thing. He goes to some contest. I don't know.
It is
I'd
crazy
have to
though
do both.
because I'm doing so I'm getting my master's there, and I did the whole orientation, and it's called like the War Eagle Way orientation. So like, it's
I
funny
legitimately
because
didn't know there were the Tigers for the first couple seasons I started following football. I was like, when somebody was referencing, I was like, oh, it's the Auburn Eagles. And I was like, that's cool. Like, a unique mascot. We don't have a lot of Eagles. So very cool. They locked that one in.
Then what is this tiger running around in the
Yeah,
field?
and then
in
later
orange
on,
and blue?
like, it's like, oh no, they're the Tigers. And I was like, I don't think so. Like,
Yeah, you're wrong.
yeah, I
Yeah.
don't see any Tiger representation there. I see a lot about Eagles. So
Yeah, and we're orange and blue like a tiger. I'm just kidding.
yeah,
That doesn't. Yeah, but something I like how you're talking about. They all have like a mascot, like a live one. There's something about an eagle. It's like so American, so patriotic, and when you let it loose, it's not like you're like riding the horse. It's like the eagle could just like fly away. You
yeah. So
know? He's supporting us. He's gonna fly around
Yeah.
the field. He's gonna come back. Someone's gonna stand on the sideline with him on their wrist the whole game, like an AP eagle. You know?
It's cool. Like I said, I am all for rebranding Auburn as the War Eagles. Like, I think we can make that happen. So it'll be a rack initiative.
All right, what's your 4 slot, Mr. Aaron?
My 4th slot is also another generalized college football, but one of my favorite things that we get to see. And I'm going with the third down sounds for stadiums. I think as somebody, my team or someone else's, if I'm watching a game, third down sounds for me get me hyped up. If your team has a good one, it is awesome. There's something where it just has that moment of like, oh, we rolled in the third down. It's game time. The crowd gets loud. I love the integration of it. And I think there are some teams that have some really, really good ones.
And again, Aaron, you keep speaking my language here. I'm all about this super high energy stuff. There's nothing like it. Those defensive
Yeah.
guys, those are energy driven guys. They're getting all hyped up. They're playing the music. You're rolling. You're loud. It's so great. There's nothing like a nice third down at a football stadium.
And
Yeah.
like for my Mississippi State fandom, when we had Mike Leach and we had the air raid, like when you have the air raid klaxon going off, that's cool. Like, it's just a moment where you're like, that's my team. Like, this is what we're getting ready. Now it's for me to do my part. I got to start bringing my cowbell harder. But, like, I think when we have things like Alabama's like Fan of the Opera and stuff like that, I think that's cool. I think there's like it, who you're playing when you go against, especially when those teams are doing good and your team, you're playing against them and you're away at their home stadium. There are some of those that you kind of like dread the sound of that, where you're like, oh no, I know they're going to do it. So it just is something that I think it resonates with me harder. I just enjoy it so much. I just think it's such a fandom defining thing.
It was a great pick. A great pick.
So my fifth one, I'm back in the ACC. I did a little research on it because I didn't know the full history behind it. So it was actually a cool read when I was in the middle of doing lat pull downs at the gym with Ryan, and I did a little research on the old fifth slot. we got Clemson in their whole running down the hill intro of their beginning of the game. So Frank Howard, a former coach in the 60s, was given a rock by one of his friends from Death Valley, California. Just a random rock that his friend found. Gave him this rock, right? So he puts it in his office, and for like 6 years, it was a doorstop. That's all it was. It was just a doorstop in his room. And like 6 years later, he went in, was cleaning his office, and somebody told him, "It's like, you got to get rid of that rock. Like, what, why is it still here?" So I mean, it could have been out of spite. I don't know, but he put it on a pedestal and put it at the top of the hill up for this rock. So the first game it was debuted, all the players would go out, they rubbed the top of the rock, and they went out, ran down the hill, they won by 18. So from then on, it was like a symbol of like coming together in unity and like just giving your all, like 110%. Like, so everybody like rubs the rock and they run down the hill where it gets a little rocky. But so it's called the Howard Rock still after Frank Howard, but they still have that same rock up in a pedestal, or yeah, pedestal at the top of the hill. They rub it, run down, and they do their thing. So that's a pretty cool tradition.
So this rock is not a meteorite that landed in the center of the field on after they won the game.
It is not. No, it is not
No,
from
it's
Stranger
just
Things that like came from another planet through, So no,
It is kind of funny though. It's like funny that he just kind of put it up there.
Just a
It's
random
crazy
rock.
They like run down the field, down the hill though.
I'm
Majority
shocked
would be
that like I've
how
never
do they
seen
not
him
fall
just like
down?
tumble. Yeah, just,
I
like,
I do always worry a little bit. Like I think about it, I'm like, has anybody like ever torn something like just
Yeah.
it because it is a hill. It's
yeah.
I will say it is cool. I think pointing it out, like putting it on the list, I think is justified because it is like here. I didn't know the story behind it. I just like they got that rock, and they touch it, and then they run down a hill. Good energy. Knowing that the story behind the rock is just being obstinate is
Yeah.
even better for me
Yeah.
because it is another one of those college football things of like it does occur naturally. You just kind of one of these things happen. If somebody told me to get rid of the rock that I had as my doorstop, I put it in the way, and then now everybody touches it, and now it's gotta be there. Like now our foundation and culture depends on that rock. And I love that. Like that is just something of superstition that we get so involved in as college football fans. Like it just shows that passion of like if you try to explain all these stories as Ryan has tried to do, it makes it crazy for us.
No, I mean I wore a Nashville Predators hockey pullover to the national championship, because that was the pullover that I wore for every single playoff game from Ohio State's national championship run. And during Texas, I did not wear it because I was like, I don't want to wear a jacket inside a Mercedes-Benz and it's like going to be 1,000 degrees in there. So I got to change it now so they can get a win, keep going. Halftime wasn't looking good. Went upstairs, put it on. Jack Sawyer scoop and score. Bada boom, bada bing. Wore it to Atlanta. So I mean, it's superstition that could be its own tradition in college football. But I mean, that goes NFL as well. But I mean, there's a lot of crazy ones. I mean, they got to wear the same socks, same hats, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's so crazy. I gotta touch this rock so I do good. Like it's hilarious that like I love how each team just has these weird little things that they do. That's just like it makes college football so good.
Yep.
Yeah, and in like 50 to 100 years of just combining the weird little things that the players before them did. It's just cool to like see it and then hear about it. I think that's like even as a non-fan of a team, you come to it and you're like, oh yeah, like that's cool. Like love that you guys are doing that. Here's our weird thing that we do.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Ryan, what's your fifth Auburn one? What you
All
got?
right, this is number one on my list. My favorite college football tradition is the Iron Bowl. Kind of less of like a weird little nitpicky thing we do, but the Iron Bowl is the greatest rivalry in sports, in my opinion. I know you're gonna disagree. In my opinion, it's the greatest rivalry in sports, and it's because it's not just about football. It's about more than football. And I'm gonna give you another history lesson why. So, after the Civil War, during the Reconstruction period, they made a thing called the Morrill Act of 1862, and this pretty much just provided land grants for higher education. So they just give land and money to colleges. And Auburn was running low on money, and they really, really needed it. So it also kind of made sense that they would get it because it's more of like an agricultural kind of school. We have that, like engineering and stuff. So it makes sense that we need land, we need money because we're kind of out of it. And the Alabama state legislator was like super heavily influenced by Alabama alumni, and they wanted all the money for themselves. And they wanted to be the sole premier college of Alabama. So they were kind of fighting us for it. And you can call it a miracle. We've had plenty of miracles against Alabama. But after 4 years, they finally gave it to us in 1872. And the state legislator still tried to hold the money throughout the 1870s and the 1880s. Didn't want to give it to us because they're from Alabama. But Auburn really needed the money. So they had to fight for their survival as a school against this already established like Alabama school and their corrupt alumni. So we had our first game on February 22nd, 1893, and even then, we won 32-22, and the disputes already began. You know, we said that was the first game of the 1893 season, but they were like, oh, it's in February. It was the last game of the 1882 season. So we're already disputing there. And if you go on both of our websites right now, it's still like that. Like, we have it listed as different days. And we played till 1907. But after that game, we disagreed so bad on things like player expenses and revenue disputes and like where we should get the refs and how much to pay them. And also the players and even the fans would get such bad fights during the game that we just stopped playing for 41 years. And we started playing again in 1948, and they agreed to play at a neutral site. But Alabama, you know, knowing Alabama, the neutral site was Legion Field, and they already played most of their games at Legion Field anyway. So it wasn't even a neutral site. We were just playing at Alabama's stadium, essentially. But in 1989, we finally got to play the home-to-home series like we were talking about. And as I mentioned earlier, we won at home against an undefeated number 2 Alabama. And this is made for huge games like the Punt Bama Punt, the Bow Over the Top, the Fear of the Thumb when we won 6 years in a row. And we had the comeback, which is the comeback in 2010 where the guy ruined our trees and put the Spike 80 DF in them or whatever. And then we had the Kick 6. We always had huge upsets and stuff. It's just so much history in that game. And it's just more than football. It's like the whole foundation of our schools, like against each other and everything that they believe in.
Can I say the least surprising thing about the history of that is that most of the arguments stem from being bad at math and date management. And it seems like as Alabama schools, that's unsurprising to outside of people.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I view it as like a 1A, 1B kind of thing. I think you can't have an argument of like any other teams being a top rival in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
But I think where you guys could have a lead, not saying you do, but is that you are in state as well.
Yeah, I will say the Iron Bowl is, I'm not going to give you the best rivalry game because I'm going to, of course, argue that the Egg Bowl is the best rivalry game. And the history of that is our trophy was so ugly that we tried to make it a football and it looks like an egg. So it's an Egg Bowl. I like that. That's very Mississippi State coded. But I do think the Iron Bowl has a certain environment to it that it like, Alabama can be playing at the top of its game. Auburn can be playing like it is now. And you still don't know who's going to win. It is something that it is always up for debate. You cannot count the Iron Bowl, no matter how good one team or the other's doing. It could go either way. So I will say that as bowl games go, the Iron Bowl is one that I watch every year. So it might be on record if it is on during some of the other ones. It's not my top, but it is on my list of watched rivalry games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and for tradition wise, it's like, of course I love the game, but it's just rooted in such history and such tradition that I had to put it as number 1 on my list. And I know
mean,
you're
it
gonna
did sound
disagree,
like the
Chandler.
history and tradition was we disagreed over government funds, and so
Yeah, and
it's
they're
not as
still trying to-
exciting as.
They're trying to steal all the money, choke us out as a school, you know, still trying to put us down to this day. You know, it's not going to happen.
All right, Aaron, close us out.
So for my number 5, I also had the Virginia Tech. So because we already talked about Virginia Tech, I'm going to do an honorable mention here to piggyback, Ryan, off of yours and say, I think rivalry game weekend for college football is something that I think is a special tradition of ours. Because, like, when we talk NFL, you still have your rivalry games, you still have those things. But having them all go down on one weekend, that I think is something that it's the most exciting weekend of college football because anything can happen. It's right before, like, we get to the championships for the different conferences. Like, it is kind of a make or break moment for a season, and you're going against the team you want to beat the most. So I do love the spirit of that week, and I don't know if there's a lot of other sports that you get that same excitement for regular season games, like, across the board.
Agree.
I mean, yeah, I love rivalry games. I mean, of course, I'm going to be a little biased because I'm an Auburn fan, but the game for Ohio State team up north is also pretty good. The Egg Bowl's always good. You always got to make sure to watch all of the games, And I missed out on a few when I was younger because if you made it the championship for the Turkey Bowl, it was always on a Saturday. So that would always throw a little wrinkle in things. But other than those few little years there in Little League, I watch all the games, try to go to the Iron Bowl if I can.
Yeah, it's just such a fun weekend, especially because it is that Thanksgiving weekend that it's like you just have nothing else slated. You're just like, we're going to be watching college football rivalry games. You eat turkey, you do some shopping, and you watch rivals.
Yeah, and even if everyone sucks, it's still, like, fun. Like, every single game is so fun. The crowd's, like, so into it, even if they suck. It's great.
And really, it's like when you get a surprise, when you get the upset, when you get the rival team coming in, like the unranked rival taking on the ranked team and coming out on top. There's something special about that. Like, those, when people rush the stadium, you're like, all right, yep, we got it this time.
Yeah, and you have Chandler, y'all have Brutus crossing out the M. Last year, everyone was stealing Trinidad Chambliss' jersey. Just the little shenanigans going on. It's just hilarious.
The fights.
Yeah, the fights. That's
more likely
going
to get a fight on that weekend.
Yeah, and the refs just let him play a little bit. I like it. Rough him up a little. Rough him up.
Yeah. It is agreed that it's like our physical weekend. Like, we have the restraints, but it seems like across conferences, everybody's like, we'll let him get it out of their system a little bit. So this was fun. I actually really enjoyed this. I want to deep dive on some more traditions. So if any of you listeners out there have some weird traditions for your team, if you love the smell of toilet paper in the morning, let us know. Send us over a comment, send us over an email. All those links are in the description. So as always, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for following us on all the social media platforms. These two boys did get together. As soon as we got the Brandon Sorsby update of Texas Tech and him separating, they hopped immediately in, wanted to get that out. So those kind of things are going to pop up on the YouTube shorts. They're going to be on TikTok, Instagram. So follow us on those if you want to get things that are outside of our Monday releases. We'll have those anytime we have those big news breaking out. We'll have something that we're posting in there. So check us out on there. For those of you that have already followed us, thank you. We're going to be back next week. By popular demand, we're going to tackle a topic that a lot of people think we should be talking about, and that is college football. So make sure to check in, follow us. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.